One of the simplest pieces of advice you'll ever receive: if sinners entice you, just run. Do not think twice. Do not consider it. You see, when builders are inviting you into their business, they're inviting you into the building business. If pastors invite you to their business, it's because they're they are inviting you into shepherding work. If architects invite you to their work, it's because it's going to be closely related. It will not differ much. So if sinners entice you and they tell you to come their way, it's because they're inviting you into what sinners do, sin. Oh, the book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 10, this is what it says: My son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. Do not say yes. So run. Piece of advice. Very simple. You have to be complicated to complicate it. What's up, everybody? My name is Steve, but you can call me Steve the Rev. Listen, I'm here with another proverb for you. I'm so glad that so far we've done close to 90 days of a proverb a day, a proverb of the day. And for me, I'm really very grateful. And I was telling a couple of people that I'm very grateful because I've been consistent for the past 90 days. I just wanted to drum it in. And I wanted to put the devil on notice. Hey, we just got started. 90 down, another 90 to go, and another 90, and another 90. And before you know it, oh yes, we'll be done with the year. Now let's go. Okay, let me get a grip of myself. I share with you a verse from the book of Proverbs daily so that you can go back and read the whole chapter. And the point behind this is me just being part of your team, which is the winning team. We have to win together. And for us to win together, what is required of us is both of us reading a chapter a day. Now, are you ready for today's? Let's go. Today's proverb is Proverbs chapter 1, verse 10, and it says, My son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. That's wisdom. The Amplified Version says, My son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. Pretty much the same thing. The same thing for Amplified Classic. The Contemporary English Version says that don't be tempted by sinners or listen. Do not be tempted or listen. Run. My child, this is the NLT, my child, if sinners entice you, turn your back on them. On who? You're turning your back on them, the sinners, not the people in the background. Please, let's be serious. Let me get you another version, which, let me see. Let me share with you the Passion Translation. It says that when peer pressure compels you to go with the crowd, and sinners invite you to join in, you must simply say no. You know, that is one of the easiest piece of advice that you can ever receive. It's so simple. It takes you complicating it for it to become complicated. When thieves ask you to become a thief, what do? Do you say yes? Of course, you're wise. You say no, because the way of sin is death, unless you receive Christ. But the wise thing for you to do is to run. When bad people or bad company comes your way, you run. That is why our parents, when we were growing up, one of the biggest pieces of advice they told us is don't hang with bad people. Be careful about the company that you keep. The company that you keep says a lot about you. And in the process, it does influence you. Some people go down the road of saying, no, at least I do good things. Those people will not influence me. Oh, no, it doesn't have to be immediate. Let me show you something. When you have two parallel lines, those two lines will never meet. They may face in the same direction, but they will never meet. But any slight deviation by any angle by one of them, just imagine you're looking at the screen right now, like you are. This is a parallel line. These are two parallel lines. So when I'm moving, they go straight like that. But when one of them just deviates just a little bit by a tiny angle, you see this? It's just turned by a tiny angle. It's no longer as parallel, but it may look like it's parallel right now. But the more you go on, as the years go on, you start changing from who you are. The person that you used to be, you start changing. Or in this case, you're hanging with the wrong company. Here you are with the parallel line. Now you start turning towards the sinners. It may not seem like, there's any change happening, but over time, as the years go by, boom, finally you get to connect. And 10 years down the road, that is the kind of person that you are. One of the pieces of advice my wife, girlfriend, then gave me is that I need to have good company. I need to have company, the company of faith. By company of faith, I mean people who walk in faith, people who are going somewhere, people who are dreaming, people who are big thinkers. The same way big thinkers affect you or influence you is the same way the sinners affect you. It will only be a matter of time, and you are known for drugs, you are known for stealing, you are known for lying, you're known for corruption, you're known as the guy that brings about complaints at the workplace. You're the guy that doesn't that sleeps around with everything female. So you don't want to be like that. What is the best way for you to guard yourself from that? Running away from all manner of temptation, running away from that which may easily beset you. Change your company. When sinners entice you, don't think about it, run. When people tell you, let's go kill somebody, do you think twice about it? No. In the same breath, those who take bribes, those who are dealing in corruption, those who are stealing from the government, those who are misusing office, when they invite you into their company, what you do is run. Just like you run from death, from being a killer, just like you run from being uh, from witchcraft. It's the same way that you have to run from all of these other things. I like the Passion Translation. It says that when peer pressure compels you to go with the crowd and sinners invite you to join in, you must simply say no. One of the biggest temptations you will have is peer pressure, especially for young people. Even in your old age, you do have, even when we get older, we still have the temptation for peer pressure. But peer pressure is much bigger and has a greater influence when we are younger, because you want to be known as cool. You want to hang out with the rest. You don't want to be seen as weak. You don't want to be seen as cowardly. So you want to do what the rest are doing. There's a gentleman, he's called Evangelist Jonathan Shuttlesworth. One of the things I've learned from him is that he will continue saying that when the world is saying, go this direction, when the news is saying, move in this direction, when the media is shouting, move in this direction, just take the opposite direction. Oh, yes. When the media is telling you it's okay for you to move around naked, exposing a lot of your body, move in the other direction. Do not. When the world and your office space, everyone in your organization is stealing from the organization and taking as much as they can and canning all they get, you take the opposite direction. When you're surrounded by people who are simply telling lies, move in the opposite direction. When sinners entice you, simply put, run in the opposite direction. Do not stick around. Don't try to be the cool guy. Don't try to sell your soul for a little penny. Don't try to sell your soul just so you can say you're a tough guy. Don't. I did that. I tried to be a tough guy. I ended up being one of the most vulgar guys in class. I would use F words like I was paid to do it. I would use them so much that at one point I think, a poll was done in the class, and I was termed as as the most vulgar person in class. It took me a good number of years for me to undo that. It followed me all the way till the time I was married. A few F words would just slip through. They were not as major as back then when I was in my S2, when I started using curse words. But now I would use just one word, and sometimes my wife would look at me and go like, "Yo, you just can't say that." And I'm like, I get it, but change is going to come. But I can't even think about it right now. It's no biggie. So run the opposite direction. Now, if you've not been running in the opposite direction, I need you to know, if you've made sinners your company, I need you to know that When Jesus died on the cross, he was crucified on a cross, and between him, on both of his side, he had two sinners. They were thieves. One of them took the path of humility and he said, Jesus, would you forgive me? Would you remember me in your kingdom? And that sinner was forgiven. And one of them was so proud that all he did say was, well, if you served other people, why don't you serve yourself? I'm here to let you know that you could be that other sinner, but you need the grace of God. The love of God is not too far from you. All you need to do is receive the grace of God. And you receive it by faith. You simply believe in your heart and confess with your mouth. Now, if you believe it and you would like to receive it, just repeat this prayer after me. Say, Dear Jesus, today I confess that I'm a sinner in need of your grace. Please forgive me. Dear Jesus, today I give you my life. Turn it around. Turn me into a person that gives you glory. From today onwards, I declare that I am born again. With that simple prayer, you've accepted Christ as your Lord and Savior. The next thing you're going to do is send a WhatsApp message or call this number, +256 775 642 449. Or you're going to go ahead into the link in the description, and you are going to tap on that link and it will take you straight to the WhatsApp chat. Just go to the WhatsApp chat and say, hey, STR, which is Steve the Rev, led me here. I've just accepted Christ as my Lord and Savior. What do I do next? And the person will respond to you and will lead you on what you need to do next. Now, for the rest of you, I need you to go back and read the rest of the chapter because there's more wisdom in it for you. Have yourselves a great new month. Ciao. Bye-bye.